I promise this is it.
Okay, we're videoing. We're live. This is take two because he thought we were taking a photo for like a minute while I was just holding the camera.
No,
and
10
before.
seconds to be
10
fair.
Seconds.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Which
okay.
is still embarrassing.
So hello, this is Mo from Australia. Say hi.
Howdy. G'day, I should say.
G'day.
Yeah.
And he's a musician. And we were talking about the tendency for musicians to always want to try to get things perfect. And I was like, I gave up on that long ago. Because especially my first record, I was just trying to figure things out.
Right.
None of it was perfect. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But if I would have had that tendency and I got stuck on it, I would have never graduated from that record.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to get something to a finishing point, move on to the next thing, and take everything as a learning experience.
No, I think that the issue there is like, what way do you draw the line? You know, what's the finishing point? Because you'll listen back to it and say, well, you know, I've finished all the parts and everything, but it just doesn't sound good to me. You know, so that's the issue with, I think that a lot of artists struggle with is getting it to a point where they're satisfied, which is often never. You know, I mean, that doesn't come for a lot of people, and I'm one of those people.
I think that's a luxury when you're a professional recording artist.
Yeah.
And you have the budget and you have the time to do that.
Yeah.
Those are two things I never had: money or time.
Yeah.
Because time is money when you're recording music. So especially with my first record, when I was figuring it out, I did everything in the studio. I played every single instrument part. This was before I learned how to use Pro Tools, and you could copy and paste like repeating parts. I had to play everything out by hand all the way through. It was very, very time consuming. And so it didn't matter if it wasn't perfect because I ran out of money.
Right.
I had a budget. So I had to say, okay, this is just going to have to be good enough.
Yeah.
And I don't have that album on iTunes or anything, my first album.
Yeah.
Or on Spotify or any of that stuff. I have it available on my website, but it still holds a special place in my heart for me because it was what started it all. It was where I bit my teeth. It's where I learned. It's what gave me the confidence to continue to do something else. And my second record was so much better produced.
See, now for the record, I totally agree with that philosophy, and I think that I was talking to him before about how I think perfectionism is often the enemy, you know, when you're an artist. But I think that, you know, economically speaking, you were obviously working, you had time limits and you were working in a studio, and I have a home studio, which look,
different.
They're two different things. It makes a much bigger difference than you would think. Now, when I say I have a home studio, it probably sounds like a very fancy sort of luxurious thing.
Well, I have a home studio now too. That's why I make all my music here.
It is, and I have a laptop and a microphone.
Yeah.
But because I don't have to pay by the hour or anything, I can listen back to it at the end of the day and say, you know what, like, you know, that could be a little bit better. And then the next day you do it again and you listen back, oh, it could be a little bit better. And eventually you become so fatigued by this sort of futile and endless, seemingly endless sort of pursuit of perfectionism.
You're never going to attain perfection. It's impossible.
So
that is impossible.
Yeah.
Unless you're Prince. I mean, he did it, but I'm not Prince. I'm
but you know what? The interesting thing is probably if you ask Prince, I'm sure he could criticize his own music.
Of course he could, probably. But the thing I loved about Prince is that he thought he was the greatest musician ever, and so...
Did he think that?
Yeah, well, no. He had an ego is what I'm saying. He was very egocentric, and he had a confidence about him.
You can't be that kind of performer without that kind of... You know, I think the arrogance is part of the charisma. You know?
It is, definitely.
You can say the same about Mick Jagger and Elton
This is
John.
going long. We have to wrap this up. But 3 minutes and 40 seconds, wow. Okay, so I just wanted to say, first off, that was a very long time ago that I was paying by the hour and doing everything. It was 2002.
Right.
I'm old. But yeah, don't worry about perfection. Just get it done. Somebody will love it, no matter how imperfect you think it may be.
Yeah.
Cheers.